The hum of the station echoed faintly around them, a constant reminder that they were not on Earth anymore. Mia shifted her backpack and stared out of the massive windows that lined the entrance to the Intergalactic Science Expo. Beyond the glass was the swirling tapestry of space, streaked with ships from all over the galaxy. Some were sleek silver, others neon-hued, and a few were so massive they blotted out entire patches of stars. But Mia couldn't afford to be awestruck. She had work to do. "Okay, people, focus. This is our shot," Mia said, her voice buzzing with a mix of excitement and nerves. She glanced over her shoulder at her team, who were busy wrestling with their equipment cases. Javi, the group's PR specialist and self-proclaimed social media guru, was already snapping selfies in front of the station's sign, trying to get a good shot with the swirling nebula in the background. "This place is insane. I swear Earth conventions are gonna feel like high school science fairs after this," Javi said, grinning as he checked his follower count on his wrist terminal. "I mean, come on, look at that thing." The thing he was pointing to was a group of competitors, a species that looked like towering columns of light wrapped in metallic tendrils. They floated effortlessly across the expo floor, their project concealed within an ornate sphere that shimmered with strange organic patterns. Layla, their botanist, rolled her eyes. "Javi, could you not freak out over every weird thing you see? We've got bigger things to worry about." "Hey, I'm just saying, if we're competing against literal energy beings, we're gonna need every edge we can get," Javi replied, flashing a quick grin before snapping another picture. Mia took a deep breath and turned to Ethan, their resident techie, who was squatting on the floor, fiddling with the wiring of their display unit. His fingers danced across a tangle of mismatched cables and scavenged parts. "How's it looking, Ethan?" "Like a miracle in progress," Ethan muttered, not looking up. "And by miracle, I mean it's a miracle this piece of junk hasn't exploded yet." He gave one last twist to a stubborn wire, then flicked a switch. The projector hummed to life, casting a glowing hologram of Earth surrounded by several miniature terrariums. Mia couldn't help but smile. Their project might not have the glamour of their competitors, but it was theirs. Hand-built from old tech and scraps they found lying around Earth. Every tiny ecosystem, balanced with care and ingenuity, was a testament to their belief that small solutions could spark big change. Around them, alien students were setting up impressive displays. Next to them, a reptilian species was arranging vials of glowing plasma that pulsed with strange energy. On the other side, a team of insectoid creatures buzzed over a table lined with sleek black drones, each the size of a thumbnail. Mia felt a familiar knot of doubt twist in her stomach. "Okay, so, anyone else feel like we're slightly out of our league?" Ethan asked, glancing at the surrounding booths with a grimace. Layla gave him a reassuring nudge. "Relax. We knew this was going to be intense. We didn't come here to out-tech the galaxy. We came to show them something different." "And what exactly is that?" Ethan shot back. "Heart," Mia said, adjusting the nameplate that read Earth Academy Delegation at the front of their booth. "And creativity. We built micro-ecosystems from junk. We're showing that sustainability can start small." Ethan snorted. "Heart's nice, Mia, but heart doesn't beat fusion reactors." As if on cue, a towering Fraxian competitor strolled past, flanked by glowing drones. The alien gave their project a cursory glance and sneered. "How quaint. A garden," it hissed, its voice buzzing like static before sauntering off to its own booth, which featured a miniature fusion core suspended in stasis. "Don't let it get to you," Mia muttered, sensing Ethan's growing frustration. "We knew we'd get underestimated. That's our secret weapon. No one expects us to pull this off." Javi leaned in, whispering with a grin. "Underdog story of the century, right? We can call it humans versus the galaxy. Micro-miracles." Mia couldn't help but chuckle, even though the pressure was mounting. The truth was, they were all a little overwhelmed. The expo floor was massive, easily the size of several football fields, and teeming with alien competitors, sponsors, and media teams. Booths stretched as far as the eye could see, each showcasing an idea more elaborate than the last. Some floated in zero gravity. Others displayed simulated stars or molecular structures rendered in midair. But as daunting as it all was, Mia knew they had something special. Their project wasn't about flashy tech or jaw-dropping displays. It was about the future. Their micro-ecosystems weren't just tiny, self-sustaining worlds. They were proof that you didn't need enormous resources to make a difference. They'd spent months scavenging parts and experimenting with algae cultures, bacteria, and fungi. Using only recycled materials, they built self-regulating environments that could filter air, clean water, and sustain plant life. It was small-scale terraforming, but the idea was that these ecosystems could be scaled up, turning barren moons or space stations into habitable zones with minimal cost. "Okay, this is it," Mia said, clapping her hands together. "No more second-guessing. We belong here and we're going to show them why." Just as she finished, a towering alien with crystalline skin floated past their booth. The alien's multifaceted eyes briefly locked onto Mia, its expression unreadable. Mia held its gaze for a moment, feeling a strange mix of curiosity and caution. She knew that in this arena, ideas were currency, and there were always competitors ready to steal them. The alien gave a subtle nod and moved on, disappearing into the sea of displays. "Creepy," Ethan muttered, watching it go. "Welcome to intergalactic fame, people," Javi quipped. "We're officially on the radar." A booming voice echoed across the expo floor, announcing the opening ceremony. Mia's heart skipped a beat. This was it. The start of something big. They stood together, gazing at the massive stage where the competition's judges, each representing a different faction or corporation, took their seats. The galaxy's most powerful minds were here, and somewhere in that crowd, their project would either rise or fall. Mia straightened her back and gave her team a confident smile, even though her palms were slick with sweat. "We've got this," she whispered more to herself than anyone else. And in that moment, surrounded by wonders from across the galaxy, Mia believed it. The second day of the expo was when things got serious. No more setup or gawking at alien tech. They had to pitch their project to the judges, and every other team was bringing their A-game. Mia could feel the tension simmering among her team. Ethan fiddled with stray wires out of habit. Layla checked and rechecked the nutrient levels in their terrariums, and Javi was nervously refreshing his feeds, hoping for some buzz about their project. "All right, focus," Mia said, gathering the team around. "We've got 10 minutes with the judges. All we need to do is show them that our idea works, and why it matters." Ethan gave a low whistle. "That's 10 minutes to convince a bunch of alien geniuses that our little bottle gardens are better than quantum reactors and sentient AIs. They're not just bottle gardens," Layla muttered, nudging a fern into position inside one of their glass domes. "They're ecosystems, balanced, self-sustaining. We're showing them how to build life with next to nothing." Mia smiled, grateful for Layla's steady presence. "Exactly. We don't need to out-tech them. We just need to make them see the beauty in the small stuff." Javi looked up from his terminal. "Yeah, but beauty doesn't always win science fairs, Mia. Judges love big numbers and flashy demos. Maybe we should have added lasers." Mia gave him a playful shove. "We'll be fine, Javi. Just keep the cameras rolling and don't let anyone steal our thunder." A loud chime echoed across the expo floor, signaling the start of the presentations. Teams bustled toward their booths, adjusting holograms, syncing data streams, and running last-minute tests on their devices. For a brief moment, Mia felt like a kid at a carnival, except instead of cotton candy and rides, the attractions were wormhole generators and biotech clones. Then it was their turn. The judges arrived at their booth, and Mia felt her throat tighten. There were 5 of them, 4 aliens and 1 AI orb that hovered silently above the group, its many lenses adjusting with quiet clicks. The first judge was a Qthar, a member of a hive-minded species. Its compound eyes flickered with faint bioluminescence as it scanned the display. Next to it stood a Fraxian scientist with 6 arms, holding various notepads and styluses. The others were equally intimidating, an avian creature with feathers that glowed like embers, and a hulking, rock-skinned alien from some high-gravity planet, who crossed its massive arms and grunted skeptically at the sight of the micro-ecosystems. Mia straightened her shoulders and gave her team a small nod. "Showtime." She began with the basics, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "Our project focuses on micro-terraformation. We've created self-sustaining ecosystems using only recycled materials, waste products that would otherwise be discarded." She gestured toward the glowing terrariums on their display table. Inside, tiny worlds thrived. One dome held a lush forest of moss and ferns, with droplets of condensation clinging to the glass. Another was a miniature wetland, where algae and bacteria formed a delicate balance, purifying the water within. A third featured a desert biome, with hardy succulents growing in nutrient-poor soil, their roots supported by a symbiotic network of fungi. "Our goal," Mia continued, "is to show that sustainable terraforming doesn't have to rely on enormous resources. Instead of building massive infrastructure, we believe in starting small, building life one ecosystem at a time." The Fraxian judge tilted its head, unimpressed. "These are decorative at best," it said, its voice buzzing like radio static. How do you expect such small systems to be useful on a planetary scale? Mia was ready for this question. The key is scalability. Each ecosystem is designed to regulate itself with minimal intervention. Once established, these systems can grow, slowly transforming barren environments into habitable ones. Imagine a colony on a dead moon that starts with just a few micro-ecosystems. Over time, they spread, connecting and adapting to local conditions, creating a foundation for larger ecosystems to thrive. Ethan jumped in, pulling up a holographic projection. We also developed a system of self-regulating environmental bots, he explained, gesturing to the display. These little guys monitor conditions and make small adjustments, like distributing nutrients or controlling temperature, without the need for constant oversight. The avian judge ruffled its feathers, intrigued. And these bots, you built them from scrap? Ethan grinned. Yup, took apart some old junk satellites, rewired the chips, and programmed them to work with basic sensors. They're not fancy, but they get the job done. The Cuthar judge buzzed thoughtfully. Elegant, low resource input, adaptive design. Interesting. The rock-skinned alien gave a low grunt, but too small. It will take centuries for these systems to have any meaningful planetary impact. Layla stepped forward, her expression calm but determined. Terraforming is a long-term process. No matter how advanced your tech is, what we're proposing isn't a quick fix. It's a sustainable solution, one that doesn't rely on massive infrastructure or drain a planet's resources. And because it uses recycled materials, it can start anywhere. On space stations, moons, or even derelict ships. The AI orb finally spoke, its synthetic voice smooth and emotionless. Why not automate the entire process with nanotechnology? Mia gave a small, polite smile. Because we believe in simplicity. Complex systems are harder to maintain, and when they fail, the consequences can be catastrophic. Our approach works because it's simple, self-regulating, and accessible. Anyone can build these ecosystems with the right knowledge. The judges exchanged glances, or at least, the organic ones did. The AI orb simply hovered, its lenses whirring softly. Mia could feel the weight of their scrutiny, and for a moment, she worried that their project would be dismissed as too humble, too small for a galaxy obsessed with grand solutions. Then the avian judge leaned forward, peering into one of the terrariums with a spark of curiosity. It's beautiful, it said softly, a miniature world, and it works with so little. The Cuthar nodded in agreement. It is rare to see such efficiency. Most projects here aim for scale and power, but this is vision. The Fraxian scientist, still skeptical, scribbled a note on one of its many notepads. Vision is admirable, but the competition rewards results, not ideals. Before Mia could respond, the AI orb chimed in. Innovation lies not only in new technology, but in new ways of thinking. This project represents a shift in perspective. It merits further observation. Mia's heart pounded as she exchanged glances with her team. Was that praise? It wasn't exactly an endorsement, but it wasn't dismissal either. The judges wrapped up their inspection, offering polite nods before moving on to the next booth. As they left, Mia exhaled, feeling like she'd just stepped off a roller coaster. Well, that wasn't a disaster, Javi whispered, nudging her arm. They didn't laugh us off the stage, Ethan added. I'm calling that a win. Layla gave a satisfied nod, and at least one of them seemed genuinely impressed. Mia smiled, her heart still racing. We might actually have a shot at this. As they watched the judges disappear into the crowd, a group of alien corporate representatives lingered near their booth, exchanging curious glances. One of them, a sleek figure in a shimmering suit, gave Mia a subtle nod before vanishing into the sea of displays. Something told Mia this was only the beginning. The morning after their presentation, the human team was buzzing with cautious optimism. Javi's terminal pinged every few minutes with new notifications. Some small-time Galactic blogs had posted blurbs about their project, labeling it quirky, unexpected, and a rare display of modest innovation. It wasn't the headline feature Javi had hoped for, but it was something. Quirky. I mean, I'll take it, but I was hoping for groundbreaking, Javi muttered, scrolling through alien comments with a frown. Could be worse, Ethan said, pulling a wrench from his backpack to adjust one of the display mounts. At least no one's calling us the space gardeners yet. Layla chuckled as she spritzed one of the ecosystems with water. Give it time. I'm sure someone will think of it. Mia leaned against the edge of their booth, scanning the crowds of competitors and spectators. Something felt different today. Yesterday, they had been invisible, just another small, unimpressive exhibit among a galaxy's worth of cutting-edge projects. Today, though, She noticed lingering gazes. Competitors who had ignored them were now glancing at their booth a little too often, and hovering nearby, just within earshot, was a group of alien officials wearing sleek, shimmering uniforms. "Anyone else feel like we've suddenly become interesting?" Mia whispered. Ethan shot a look at the nearby officials. "Yeah, but not the fun kind of interesting." Before Mia could respond, the shimmering group approached them. Leading the way was an alien with smooth, opalescent skin and bright, intelligent eyes, like a snake that had learned to smile. Its uniform bore the logo of Vexura Industries, one of the most powerful corporate giants in the galaxy, known for its aggressive expansion into terraforming technologies. The alien extended a long, graceful hand toward Mia. "Greetings. I am Larek of Vexura Industries. I was most intrigued by your presentation yesterday." Its voice was like silk, smooth and practiced. Mia accepted the handshake, though the alien's hand felt oddly cold. Thanks. We're glad you liked it." Larek's smile widened, though it didn't quite reach its eyes. "Liked? No, my dear, I was impressed. Such a modest project, and yet such potential." The way it said potential made Mia's stomach twist. It sounded less like admiration and more like a hunter eyeing prey. Larek turned to the rest of the team with a pleasant nod. "Vexura Industries is always on the lookout for fresh, disruptive ideas. We'd like to discuss the possibility of acquiring your project. Our scientists believe your ecosystems could complement our own terraforming technologies, on a much larger scale, of course." Mia blinked. "Wait. You want to buy our project?" "Indeed." Larek's voice remained calm, almost hypnotic. "Vexura would take care of everything. Your design would become part of our portfolio, and you would be fairly compensated. We could begin the integration immediately." Ethan leaned forward, unable to hide his excitement. "How much are we talking about here?" Larek's smile twitched again. "A generous amount, enough to ensure your personal success and Earth's place among the galactic innovators." Ethan's eyes gleamed. "We're talking millions, right?" "Ethan!" Mia hissed under her breath, but Larek didn't seem bothered. It tilted its head slightly as if amused. "We prefer not to discuss specific figures at this stage, but rest assured, it would be far more than your team could hope to achieve on your own." Layla crossed her arms. "And what happens to our project if we sell it to you?" Larek turned its unsettling smile on her. "It would flourish, of course, under the guidance of our experts. You would still receive credit naturally, but it would become proprietary technology, exclusive to Vexura Industries." Mia's chest tightened. She didn't need to hear more to know what that meant. Vexura wouldn't just buy their idea. They'd own it, and once it became proprietary, their dream of open-source, sustainable terraforming would be gone. It would become another product, locked behind paywalls and corporate interests. Mia forced a polite smile. "Thank you for the offer. We'll think about it." Larek gave a slight bow, clearly expecting that their answer would be yes. "Take your time, of course, but don't take too long. Others are already taking an interest." With that, Larek and the Vexura team drifted away, leaving the humans standing in stunned silence. Ethan broke the silence first. "Guys, did we just get a buyout offer from one of the biggest corporations in the galaxy? This is huge." "It's not huge," Layla snapped. "It's a trap. They'll swallow our project and spit out whatever's profitable. Everything we wanted it to stand for, gone." "Come on, Layla," Ethan argued. "Do you know what we could do with that kind of money? We could fund like 100 new projects. Earth's government would beg us to come home and make us ambassadors or something." Javi raised his hand. I'm just saying, galactic fame and a huge payout doesn't sound so bad." Mia rubbed her temples, trying to think. Ethan and Javi weren't wrong. The offer was tempting, but it also felt wrong. They had built this project to prove that you didn't need massive resources to change the world. Selling it to a corporate giant like Vexura would undermine everything they stood for. "I don't like it," Mia muttered. Ethan threw his hands up. "Of course you don't. You hate anything that smells like profit." "It's not about the money," Mia shot back. "It's about control. We sell to them, and we lose control of what we created. They'll turn it into whatever they want, and we won't have a say." Javi tapped on his wrist terminal, thinking aloud. "You know, if we could negotiate a partnership deal instead of a buyout, maybe we could keep some control, just enough to make sure they don't trash the whole thing." Layla shook her head. "Partnerships with corporations never go that way. They'll squeeze us out the second they can." Before anyone could argue further, a shadow fell over their booth. Mia looked up to see another alien, this one dressed in the black and gold robes of the Talviam conglomerate, a rival to Vexura. Its 6 narrow eyes gleamed with interest. "I understand Vexura has made you an offer. the alien said smoothly. I suggest you consider ours instead. Mia's heart sank. They were being pulled into something much bigger than they had expected. And the worst part? It wasn't just their project on the line anymore. It was their integrity. The alien from Talviam conglomerate leaned in, its 6 narrow eyes reflecting the glow of the ecosystems. Its voice was smooth, like oil on water. Vexura Industries doesn't see the true potential of your work, but we do. They'll bury it under red tape. We, on the other hand, are prepared to offer a partnership, not a buyout. Mia's instincts told her this was trouble. As the alien's words slithered around her, the promise of partnership sounded suspiciously like leverage in disguise. She could feel Ethan practically vibrating beside her, and she knew exactly what was running through his mind. We could play these 2 corporations off each other for an even better deal. Before anyone could answer, the alien slid a data chip across the table. Consider it, but be quick. Vexura doesn't take well to competition. With that, the Talviam representative disappeared into the bustling expo crowd, leaving the team in stunned silence. Guys, Ethan's grin was wide and reckless. We've got them fighting over us. This is good. This is really, really good. It's not good, Mia snapped. It's a mess. Now both of them want a piece of our project, and neither of them cares what we want. This isn't a partnership, it's a tug of war, and we're the rope. Javi whistled low. Okay, but we've got leverage now, right? We could negotiate something where everyone wins. No one's going to win if they're both breathing down our necks, Layla muttered darkly. We reject both offers. Simple Ethan threw up his hands in frustration. Why would we do that? Look around. We're nobodies at this competition. If we try to stand on our own, we'll get crushed by the big players. We're not nobodies, Mia shot back. We've made it this far on our own, and we don't need some corporation hijacking everything we've worked for. Before Ethan could argue, a loud pop echoed from their equipment. The lights on their display flickered, and the temperature sensors inside the ecosystem suddenly dropped to 0. Mia's stomach lurched. What the? Ethan scrambled to the projector, wrenching open the panel. Inside, wires were fried, and the control unit was dead. It's sabotage, Layla muttered, already pulling out her toolkit. Someone messed with our system. Mia clenched her fists, scanning the crowd for anyone acting suspiciously. She spotted the sleek figure of Larek from Vexura watching them from a distance, his cold smile just visible at the corner of his mouth. The Talviam rep wasn't far away either, observing quietly from the shadows. They're trying to pressure us, Mia whispered. They want us to feel like we have no choice but to cut a deal. Javi looked up from his wrist terminal, pale. Guys, there's a rumor going around that we stole our project idea from another team. Mia froze. What? Javi turned the screen so they could see. A post on the Expo's main feed claimed the humans had copied an alien project that had been submitted last cycle. This smells like Vexura, Javi said grimly. They're trying to ruin us. Mia swore under her breath. Okay, stay calm. We've fixed worse. Ethan didn't look calm at all as he stared into the mess of fried wires. Yeah, but not with the whole galaxy watching. Layla tugged at Mia's sleeve. We've got an hour until the final judging round. We need to get this system running, or it's over. Mia took a deep breath, trying to think through the panic. Okay, Layla, get those wires replaced. Ethan, see if you can jury-rig a new control unit. Javi, I'll run damage control, Javi said, already typing furiously. I'll shut down the rumor before it spreads too far. Mia nodded. Good. We're not giving either of those corporations what they want. We're finishing this no matter what. The next hour was a blur of frantic repairs. Ethan tore through their spare parts, trying to patch the ruined control system with whatever scraps he could find. Layla rewired the circuits with precision, her hands steady even though her jaw was tight with stress. Meanwhile, Javi flooded the Expo's feed with posts debunking the sabotage rumors, uploading pictures and videos that proved they had developed their project independently. You'd be amazed what a viral kitten meme can distract people from, he muttered as he worked. Mia bounced between her teammates, offering support and checking their progress. Time felt like it was slipping through her fingers, every second dragging them closer to disaster. Just when it seemed like everything would fall apart, Ethan slapped the side of the control panel with a triumphant grin. Got it! The projector hummed to life, and the temperature sensors flickered back to their normal readings. Inside the ecosystems, tiny plants unfurled their leaves, droplets of water sparkled, and the algae blooms shifted like green clouds in the miniature ponds. Mia let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. We're back in business, Javi grinned. Now let's show the galaxy what we're made of. But as the team rushed to finish their setup, Mia couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Out of the corner of her eye, she spotted the Vexura rep, Larek, smiling in that same predatory way. Across the room, the Talvium official gave her a subtle nod, as if to say, "You're playing a dangerous game." The final judging round was minutes away, and the pressure was more intense than ever. Mia knew they were walking a tightrope, and one wrong step could send them tumbling, but they had come too far to back down now. As the judges began making their rounds, Mia turned to her team, her voice calm but firm. "No deals, no shortcuts, we finish what we started." Ethan gave her a lopsided grin. "Ride or die, huh?" Mia smirked. "You know it." The judges were almost at their booth. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife, but Mia felt a strange sense of peace settle over her. They had built this project from nothing, and no matter what happened, they would finish it on their own terms. The first judge stepped forward, his eyes flickering with interest as he scanned their display. Mia straightened her back, ready to pitch their project one final time. Whatever happened next, they weren't going down without a fight. The judges stopped in front of their booth, and the air seemed to buzz with tension. Mia took a deep breath, trying to steady her nerves. Everything had built to this moment. She looked at her team, Ethan tightening a loose bolt, Layla straightening the terrariums, and Javi typing away on his wrist terminal to keep their reputation intact. For a moment, Mia felt overwhelmed with pride. Whatever happened next, they had fought for this, together. Dr. Velar 9, the alien biologist from the first round, led the judging panel. His translucent skin shimmered under the lights as he examined their project with renewed curiosity. Next to him, the Fraxian judge's antennae twitched with skepticism, while the AI orb floated silently, lenses whirring as it scanned every detail of the display. The judges were flanked by media drones, broadcasting the final round to viewers across the galaxy. Mia caught a glimpse of the live feed on one of the monitors. Thousands of spectators were tuned in. "This is your final chance," Dr. Velar 9 said, his voice both kind and firm. "Convince us that your project deserves to win." Mia stepped forward, her hands clasped together to keep them from shaking. "Our project isn't about size or spectacle. It's about possibility. We created these micro-ecosystems to prove that you don't need enormous resources to build life. With recycled materials, simple biology, and a little creativity, we can terraform even the smallest, most forgotten places." She gestured to the terrariums, where miniature forests thrived inside glass domes. "Imagine what this could do for struggling colonies on remote moons, or for deep space outposts that don't have access to traditional terraforming technology. These ecosystems are scalable and adaptive. They start small, but they grow over time, just like us." Ethan stepped in, pulling up the holographic control interface they had rebuilt from scratch. "And the best part? It doesn't need a big budget or fancy tech. Our environmental bots, built from scavenged parts, monitor and adjust conditions automatically. These ecosystems are self-sustaining. Once you plant the seeds, they take care of themselves." The rock-skinned judge crossed its massive arms. "You've built miniature habitats, but why should anyone care? What use is this when the galaxy can build planets from scratch?" Layla took a step forward, her voice steady and calm. "Terraforming isn't just about building planets. It's about restoring balance. A big, flashy solution isn't always the right answer. Sometimes the smallest change, a little bacteria here, a sprig of moss there, can tip the scales in favor of life. That's what we're showing. Small steps, sustainable growth." The AI orb whirred as it processed their words. "Simplicity, scalability, sustainability," it murmured, almost to itself. Mia took the final step, her voice filled with quiet determination. "Our project is a reminder that even the smallest efforts matter. You don't need to be a superpower to make a difference. All you need is vision and the will to start, no matter how small." For a moment there was silence. The judges exchanged glances, murmuring quietly in languages Mia couldn't understand. The Fraxians still looked skeptical, but Dr. Velar 9's expression had softened, and even the rock-skinned judge seemed to be considering their words. Then, without a word, the judges moved on to the next booth. Mia exhaled, her heart pounding. It was over. All they could do now was wait. The team gathered behind the booth, exchanging nervous glances. Javi was the first to speak. "So, what's the vibe? Good? Bad? Are we doomed?" Ethan leaned against the wall, looking exhausted. "I think we nailed it, or at least, we didn't crash and burn." Layla gave a small, tired smile. "If nothing else, we did it on our own terms." Mia nodded. "Yeah. No shortcuts, no deals. We stuck to our vision." They stood in silence for a moment, the weight of the past few days finally sinking in. The pressure, the sabotage, the offers, they had made it through all of it. Now, it was up to the judges. An announcement chimed overhead, signaling the start of the award ceremony. Mia's stomach flipped. This was it. They gathered with the other competitors near the main stage, their hearts pounding in unison. Dozens of teams stood around them, aliens from every corner of the galaxy, each with their own groundbreaking project. Mia felt the weight of it all settle on her shoulders. Even if they didn't win, they had made it this far. That had to count for something. The lead announcer, a towering insectoid with iridescent wings, stepped onto the stage. The audience quieted as the final results were projected into the air, shimmering like constellations. "We are pleased to recognize the most innovative minds in the galaxy," the announcer buzzed, its wings fluttering softly. "These projects represent the future, solutions that push the boundaries of science, technology, and creativity." The third-place winner was announced, a team of reptilian engineers who had developed a drone swarm capable of generating artificial gravity fields. Applause rippled through the crowd. Second place went to a hive mind species that had created a fusion reactor the size of a coin. The audience erupted in cheers. Mia's heart raced. This is it. We didn't make the top 3. That's okay, right? She forced herself to breathe, bracing for the final announcement. And now, the announcer continued, the winner of the Intergalactic Science Expo, the project that has not only demonstrated technical brilliance but also shown us a new way of thinking. Mia squeezed her eyes shut. Please, 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 is the Earth Academy team, for their micro-terraforming project. For a moment, Mia couldn't process the words. Then Javi let out a whoop, and Layla grabbed Mia's arm, grinning ear to ear. Ethan blinked, stunned. Did they just say we won? They said we won, Mia shouted, unable to contain her joy. The crowd erupted into applause, some genuine, some grudging. The media drones swarmed around them, cameras flashing, as the team stumbled onto the stage in a blur of excitement and disbelief. Dr. Valar 9 handed Mia the trophy, a crystalline sculpture that shimmered like a galaxy in miniature. You've shown us that innovation is not just about technology, but about vision. Congratulations. Mia beamed, her heart nearly bursting with pride. They had done it. Against all odds, they had won. As they stepped off the stage, they were immediately surrounded by representatives from other teams, journalists, and, unsurprisingly, corporate officials. Larek from Vexura Industries appeared out of the crowd, his smile tight and unreadable. Congratulations. A well-deserved win. Mia kept her expression polite but firm. Thank you, but our project stays open source. No deals. Larek's smile faltered for a brief moment, but he nodded graciously. A shame, but I respect your decision. As he melted back into the crowd, Javi let out a laugh. Did we just turn down a multi-million credit deal twice? Layla grinned. Yup, and it feels amazing. Ethan slung an arm around Mia's shoulders. You were right, Mia. We didn't need them. We did it our way. Mia smiled, feeling lighter than she had in days. Yeah, we did. As they left the expo, the trophy glittering in Mia's hands, they knew that this was just the beginning. They had proven that small ideas can spark big change, and the galaxy was finally paying attention. The future was wide open and they were ready to build it, one tiny ecosystem at a time.